celebrating because I've got a friend who tells me all the things that ought to be told to me.
Why, George, please don't think of that. I don't know why I said it. I didn't mean it.
No, Emily, you stick to it. I'm glad you spoke to me the way you did. But you'll see, I'm going to change so quick. You can bet I'm going to change. And, Emily, I want to ask you a favor.
Yes, George?
If I go away to State Agriculture College next year, will you write me a letter once in a while?
I certainly will. I certainly will, George. But maybe letters from Grover's Corners might not be that interesting after a while. I mean, it's not that very important of a place, but I think it's a very nice town.
The day wouldn't come where I wouldn't want to know everything that's happening here. And I know that's true, Emily.
Well, then I'll try to make my letters interesting.
You know, Emily, whenever I meet a farmer, I ask him if he thinks it's important to go to agriculture school, to be a good farmer.
But George...
Yeah, and some of them even say it's a waste of time. You can learn all those things anyways in the pamphlets the government sends out. And Uncle Luke's getting old. He's about ready for me to start and taking over the farm tomorrow, if I could.
My.
And like you say, being gone all that time in other places and meeting other people, gosh, if anything like that can happen, well then I don't want to go away. Emily, I feel like you're as good of a friend as I've got. I don't need to meet the people in other towns.
But George, maybe it's very important that you go and learn all the cattle judging and soils and those things. But of course, I don't know.
Emily, I'm going to make my mind up right now. I won't go. I'll tell Pa about it tonight.
But George, I don't see why you have to make your decision right now. I mean, it's a whole year away.
You know what, Emily? I'm glad you spoke to me about that flaw in my character. What you said was right, but there was one thing wrong in it. And that's when you said that for a whole year, I wasn't noticing people. And you, for instance. Why, you said you were watching me as I did everything. I was doing the same about you all the time. And for the past 3 days now, I've been trying to walk home with you, but something's always gotten in the way.
Why, George, life's awful funny. How could I have known? I mean, I thought that...
I think that once you found a person that you're very fond of, and a person who's very fond of you too, and likes you enough to be interested in your character, well, I think that's just as important as college is, and even more so, but that's just what I think.
Well, I think it's awfully important as well.
Emily?
Yes, George?
If I do improve and make a big change, would you be, could?
I am now, George. I always have been.
Well, I guess this is an important talk we've been having.
Yes.
Wait just 1 minute, and I'll walk you home.